Hey everyone, I have a good pal with me here, Samir, who was just in Ontario, didn't even tell me next time. And we were just chatting before we started to hit record here because we've known each other. And Samir here says it's 2016. We met at Social Media Marketing World, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. And I was like, relatively a newbie. And you were, I think, was Guy Kawasaki talking?
Yeah, correct. He was using the product. He made me stand in the audience, and this is the CEO of Social Jam. That was a great moment.
That was awesome. And then I'm like, he's going to be someone someday. I need my picture with him. We had a picture. I wish I could find it. I will
Yeah.
try to find it. So without further ado, of course, Samir is here with me from Social Champ. I have all my clients use Social Champ as a social media scheduler, and I use it as well. So I'm so glad to have you back on the show. It's been ages.
Yeah, I'm glad you invited back, and I just looking at your podcast. It just also, increase in quality and good stuff happening. So I'm so excited that it's still going on because
Yeah.
it's founder's journey. You just you got to keep on moving on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Keep improving. I know if I look back at some of those first episodes, it's like, oh, it's so cringy.
That's true.
Oh dear, oh dear. So let's dive in. So obviously, podcasters, marketers alike, to save time, need to pre-schedule their social media posts across platforms. And there's so many other features, obviously, that you have with Social Champ. Um, and I remember using Social Champ again back in like 2016. It has come a long way. What big changes and shifts have you seen over the past, however many years?
Yeah, I think in the past, from the past till now, we have seen a lot of improvements in social media. A lot of features have, came through. For example, just look at Instagram. Instagram Reels, IGTV
Yeah.
videos, short forms, and then came a time of TikTok. In 2016 there wasn't TikTok, and then TikTok came and told every other social media company that you got to keep Reels in your product. So everybody tried to copy TikTok Reels, Instagram
Mm,
Reels, Facebook Reels. Twitter did Shorts, they killed it. LinkedIn tried to do Stories, they killed it. Right? So everybody was trying to replicate other stuff, trying
yeah.
to get ahead of the game. And this is good for the ecosystem, I think, because whenever you try to compete with others, it leads to new innovations. And yeah, it's been a good journey so far. More tricks, first comments, people adding that
Yeah.
algorithm. So it's really interesting space.
I know. And I was talking to you earlier about why I made the switch. I actually did and I want the audience to know as well. I actually did a tool analysis on all the different schedulers that are out there because there have been so many changes. And I'm like, you want to tag your guests or the hosts that you're podcasting with. You want to change the thumbnail of the reel so you don't totally have a goofy look on your face. Hashtags, there's so many features, and I was like, I could not find one that had, I don't want to give my clients the short end of the stick and say, oh, sorry, we can't do that for you. You
Oh,
want everything, right? So I was like,
yeah,
Social Champ, I saw your changes and I was like, yes.
awesome.
Yeah, so I was super glad about that.
Awesome.
Now, I do get this comment a lot from clients, and they say, oh, I don't want to use a social media scheduler because the algorithm that, you have to post natively within the social media platforms, or else you're not going to get any reach. Is that truth or myth?
To be honest, it's myth. In the early days, it was true.
Mm,
Facebook was penalizing third-party companies in the very start. But then what they did was that they stopped doing that. They responded to support third-party ecosystem, because other than we won't create apps on Facebook, and then this was a means for Facebook to get more people publish on Facebook, right? So they had their numbers that needs to go up. So they stopped doing that. They stopped penalizing. Now it's not, if you use the social media scheduler, or if you use Facebook's own scheduler, or if you just post natively, it's just the same right now. It does not matter if you post it from Facebook scheduler, you get more reach, or from Social Champ or any other platform. It's just a myth.
Sweet. I am taking that quote to the bank and telling everyone. Yeah, and just the amount of time it saves, it's insane.
Yeah.
Now, of course, everyone, that dreaded A word, the algorithm. Where do you find it right now on I don't know how to phrase this question, but what do we need to overcome or what do we need to do to kind of help with the algorithms?
Yeah, I think for each platform, it really matters what they look forward in a post.
Yeah.
Usually it's the engagement, the comments, and the shares that they look forward to.
Yeah.
And to be, it just hit me. There are 9 different social platforms, and there's 10th coming, the blue sky, right? Another Twitter,
Don't tell me that, Sameer.
yeah, so you need a scheduler. So I was just thinking, like, people who say don't use a scheduler, you're going to post manually on 10 different platforms, and then optimize for each platform. That's really crazy and tough thing to do. So when it comes to algorithms, each platform has different metrics which they engage with, right? So for example, comments really matter, engagement matter. Sometimes people say time matters, but time only matters if you think that posting on a specific time will get you more engagement, right? For me, the time at 2 a.m. sometimes works a lot because, usually people are, the Gen Z, usually they're up at 1, 2 a.m. and they're just scrolling through and they can comment on the post, right?
Yeah.
And when they comment, it goes to more people, right? As compared to me posting at 5 p.m. and people are leaving offices and nobody's reading the post, right?
Yeah.
So it's test and trial. You cannot say this time is the best for me because it's again based on engagement, how people are interacting with it, and hopefully your page does not have fake followers or fake likes, because that also damages the engagement, because the algorithm works in a way that it shows your post to, let's say, 1% or 0.1% of your audience, maybe 100 people. It shows your post to 100 people, right? And if any of them comment, right, it will show to more 100 people and 200 people, right? But imagine if all those 100 are fake bots, right? All of them are fake, right? Nobody would comment. Your post will die. It will not reach to more audience, right? So you really got to be making sure that you don't buy those accounts with fake followers, fake likes, and you keep on engaging with people. And then trick is, again, like I said, for algorithm, commenting on LinkedIn, the first comment, right? You can do that stuff. So each social network has different things to do, but it's, again, you got to keep trying, keep posting, and then you will figure it out.
I know. And I think that, yeah, you can't just, I tell people that you can't just post and forget it. You have to engage on other people's posts so that they're more likely to see yours and engage in yours. It's just like a relationship, right? It's like you have to give to get, and back and forth, and actually have relationships with people.
Yeah.
So there's also a lot of hype or talk, if you will, on you're having links in posts that goes against the mark. And I get you don't want to promote all the time, right? Sometimes you just want to engage. What do you say to that?
I have seen that to be true also. When you try to post a link that is not Facebook's links, maybe an article on Social Champ or your podcast or your blog, right? It wouldn't get promoted unless people engage, but it's tough to promote that. And the logic is there behind it. Facebook do not want their users to go outside of Facebook, right?
Point.
And that's true. So if I was the owner of Facebook, I would not like people to go outside. I want everybody to be inside. So that was the reason when YouTube videos, the previews, that video were used to play natively long ago on Facebook, but they stopped it. And they just, when you share a YouTube video, it acts like a link, right?
Yeah.
Earlier times, you could actually play that. So, just Facebook wants to promote its own products, right? And it's true for any social media company.
True.
So when you try to post a link that's outside of Facebook's ecosystem, you would get a hard time promoting it on your social media.
Yeah. That's why I love to use the little square, like the video clips where it's just 60 to 90 seconds and the reels, because that keeps them in there. But then you can always have a link on it, or again in first comment, or search for whatever podcast. So
yeah, that's the trick. Agreed. That's the trick people do. So when you try to post stuff, put the comment put the link in the first comment and tell people, hey, the link is on the first comment, right? That's a lot of people doing right now, that they post it in the first comment, and they tell people, hey, this is the summary or this is the blurb of the content, and you could just read the full version on the link. And some people also try to gamify this, and they try to do is that, hey, if you comment, XYZ on the comments, we'll send you the DM, right? The link will send you the DM in the link, and that generates engagement, right?
Yes.
So that's something that people do, and it works really well. People just keep on commenting, and goes like thousands of comments, and then they use some automation. They use that stuff to message them, DM them. And sometimes what they also do is that they're very smart, right? So what they do is that they post people saying that, hey, comment on it. And sometimes when it goes beyond like 1,000 or 5,000 comments, or maybe just 50 comments, what they do is they create a new post, put the link over there, and then comment on that initial first post saying that, hey, we just too many comments, we can't reach out to you because there's a limit by Facebook to message you, so we just posted the link on the next post, go and check it out, right? And they do that stuff to gamify it, and it works. The second post will get a lot of reach, but the first comment, they comment back and tell you people to get the link.
I love that. And and basically telling people to comment, say ready or whatever in the comments, and I'll DM you. It's your sales opportunity to like start a conversation with them off to the side. And it's getting people to like raise their hand, which is super smart. And I remember seeing in your on your site, correct me if I'm wrong, that you do something with bots where it can automate something, or you have an article about it.
Yeah, I think we have some engagement automation. So in SocialChamp, when people message you, you could make some rules so that you can reply them automatically, right? But that's not, feeding the comments, and automatically messaging, because when you give powers, people misuse it, right? And people would start spamming with that stuff, right? And using SocialChamp, and APIs will not like it. So we just try to not give so much power. So we have these rules that if anybody messages you something, and you can pick a keyword into it, and whenever that keyword is found, we'll just hit a message that you write.
Yeah, I love it. Anything automated, I'm totally in. What metrics and reports should we be looking at when we are using social media, or like using a social media scheduler? Because I feel like a lot of marketers don't even go to the reports or the analytics section, or even know it exists. So please look at your analytics. And what should we be looking at?
Yeah, I think the way I look at it is that I look at social media as a means to have branding and awareness, right? And once you believe that, the conversions and sales will happen the next step, right? So first thing is awareness and shares. And for that, I look at the share metric. So I'm really keen to see how many people saved my post, how many people, for Instagram, you could save a post, right? So how many people saved it, how many people shared it, right? Shares really matter to me a lot. Comments and likes do matter, but for me, shares is the golden nugget. And what I also do is that from analytics, what I actually love about analytics is that I figure out in the past, let's say 1 month to 2 months, what are the top posts that were shared the most, right? And what I do is that I copy that and repost it again. And that hits up again and it works again, right? So somehow, I use analytics as a means for me to find the best content that people liked and the algorithm liked, right? The character limit, the time, all that stuff. So I copy that and repurpose it again. So for me in analytics, shares matter a lot. But for videos, it's usually how many people saw it after 3 seconds, how many people stick to the video, because videos get a lot of shares, a lot of views, but that's a vanity metric. Like even if you have like 10,000 views and nobody watched it more than 3 seconds, you might think that you just cracked a great video and you should maybe make a series out of it, but nobody watched it, right? It was so boring in the first 2 seconds. So for videos, the real golden nugget is how many people watched it after 3-4 seconds. Is it sticky enough or not? Then you decide the next strategy, should you continue that or not, right? So these are some metrics that give me an idea of the quality of the content I'm producing or not. No matter how many animations you put in, how many hours of stuff you do in that creating that content. But unless people resonate with that, sometimes even raw videos get so much virality that no how much time you spent on TikTok videos, it
Yeah.
just get viral, right? And someone's just walking out the street, putting a TikTok video reel, and it's getting viral, right? So it's crazy out there. You got to
It
keep on
is.
practicing, but stickiness is something that I really will look into videos.
Yeah, that's a great point. You don't want to invest your time and effort into something
Yeah.
that really isn't resonating.
Yeah.
I know you also have what's called sentiment analysis, and that's like identifying the viewer's emotional tone.
Yeah.
I kind of read that and went, what's that? Can you explain it? Because it sounds extremely appealing.
Yeah, it's something that we are actually planning to do more with that stuff. Right now, it's so when you try to compose a content, right? When you compose a content, write stuff, right? Because you can use sentiment analysis to find out the tone of this content, right? Is it positive? Is it neutral? Is it negative? Positive tones actually work very good. We have seen people getting excited about it. Fear also works, but we don't want to promote that. So whenever you're trying to write something, you can use SocialChamp to find the sentiment of that post and see what the tone of this post is. Is it confusing or not, right? And then you can decide, hey, we should just push it through. The next phase of that is that we were discussing is brainstorming that, hey, you could post something on social media that, hey, for example, a soda drink introduced a new soda, and they can just say that, hey, we launched green color soda, how do you like it? And then people would comment that it's good, it's great, it's not good, whatever the people comment. And if you have this automation power, that you could actually get all those comments and tell your boss that, hey, 80% hate this green color soda, you shouldn't make it, right? So that's something that sentiment would help in the future, but right now it's a very initial stage. We're just trying to understand how people are using it, finding the tone of their content. So that's where it is in SocialChamp. That's the AI stuff that we have. Other than that, we also have this integrations with OpenAI, where the world is talking about, ChatGPT,
Yes.
text to images, and text to, getting more ideas, text to text. That's something we also have in SocialChamp, where you could just create, a cat sitting on a sofa, and you get the image out of it. You can click on that, edit that using Canva or our own editor image, and then put it on your social media. So I think we are getting into really good times right now, where it's very interesting, and you have to be just creative enough, and then you can just see your ideas come to reality.
Yeah, for me, it's like I find like AI is not a replacement. It just like speeds up the process and gets your creative juices flowing. And even sometimes like it generates a title, and I'm like, oh, that's a sexy term. Yes, I need to use that.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, in our office, I think each department is using ChatGPT, and it just speeds up their work. SEO department is using ChatGPT.
Yeah.
The designers are using it to get more ideas, and they can just manually work on that stuff. The content they're trying to find, like you said, hooking statements, hooking one-liners, and oh, this is a good word, we can replace that.
Yeah.
It just speeds up, and it's really interesting that and the community is using it, for answering questions. They can get some ideas. Oh, we can add that also. It will help people to, if the question will add into it. So it's very interesting.
I know. I have those seen on the flip side where someone has used it and like taken it verbatim, and you can just tell. I'm like, that's from a chat. I can tell. Like it doesn't have that personal tone or the person's perspective. And you can tell when it's like it's not given a human touch to it.
There's no data point in it, basically. So sometimes, there's a lot of crap content and there's no data point into it. And there's sometimes no empathy into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's a great time, and
it's fun playing with it though.
Yeah.
Let's talk about carousels really quick, because I noticed that everyone's using them. They're even more so on LinkedIn now, which typically you would see them on Instagram. Talk a little bit about those, why they work, and how we can use them in SocialChamp.
Yeah, awesome. So I think for carousels, I think it's about the basic idea is about attention spam, right? Everybody's attention spam is is going lower now, they'll give you like 1 second before you can hook them, right? And carousels is a good way we can tell multiple things in just one swap, right? Nobody wants to read your entire big content unless, you know, it's very hooking. The line is very hooking. The title is hooking enough, right? So carousels usually work very well because with single swaps, in 2-3 swaps, they could entirely know that, hey, what is the gist of this entire post, right? What am I getting? So let's say there's a carousel of Social Champ and we are trying to introduce some features. We'll be listing the top 3-4 powerful features that, hey, you know, we have direct publishing to TikTok, or we have AI suite into it. We have bulk uploading, right? And that will be in the carousel format. And then people just swap 1, 2, 3, and they get the idea that, hey, this is good. We got to use it, right? So that's why it's working a lot, because now people just want to see carousels, right? Even in e-commerce, right? If the e-commerce, you know, e-commerce store knows what your interests are, it will show you those in the carousels. Hey, baby. Or maybe, you know, the cat stuff, right? Cat food. It will show you in the carousels. They buy it, right? And it's just because they want to buy your attention, and it's very easy for you to read it, right? You don't want to click on an ad and it pops up, you know, you're getting afraid that, oh my God, I was on a good video and now I'm lost somewhere. I got to watch this video. How do I go back? Right? You don't want to mess up. You want to be calm, you know, just swap. Okay, I don't like it. Just scroll down, right? So that's the reason I think it's really working a lot. And companies are trying to run ads on carousels, posting stuff. So yeah, that's, I think, the basic emotional psychology behind it.
I do love them. I find I gravitate towards them because I know I can get like 5 quick tips on how to do blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, bing, bing, and it's visual, right? So it's easy to like, and then at the end, you can have a call to action, which is great. And usually it's a, you know, a URL that you can remember. Again, like you said, put it in the first comment. I do love them. And so how do you actually, because it's like normally in Social Champ or whatever scheduler, you dump up a bunch of pictures, but yours actually, you can like state the order of what they are in, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So it's like you just upload the pictures, say what order, and they will actually show up like as a proper little carousel, which is amazing. And I've never seen any other schedulers that honestly can do that. Like that's a game changer.
Yeah, it's just we get a lot of feedback from people, right? And we really value. So the reason why Social Champ is also doing great is that our team usually keeps on getting feedback from customers, and we ourselves use Social Champ. I use Social Champ my own page, right? And whenever I think, for example, and right now, in analytics, I want to see, I want to download everything I posted in 3 months in a CSV file, so that I can, you know, see every shares onto it. And I told to my co-founder that, you know what, I want this to do it because my way of working would be that I will go download all my 3 months post in a CSV file. Then I'll see what are the top shares, which post got it, arrange that, and then I'll find the top, you know, 100 best posts that my system has. I'll take that, put it into bulk upload it back again, right? How fast would that be? So, you know, this is something that I use, and I'm telling to my co-founder, I got to need that in my analytics. So we are actually working on that. So it's usually the feedback comes from our personal use, right? How we could save our time, and it will help other people to save their time also. So that's really works out for us.
I love that. You're so innovative. The other feature I want to touch upon that you have was the customized content composer. I know we were talking about like, you know, what time to post, but like there's also talk about how long should the post be? Should it be short? I know a lot of people, I'm seeing a lot of long posts personally, like longer narratives and stories, but you kind of don't know, like, should I do short? Should I do long? What's your opinion on the length of posts?
Yeah, I think it depends what platform you're at. So on LinkedIn, long form posts are working a lot, right? Everybody's posting long form content, a lot of text, using emojis into it so that you can actually, it's easier to read. Improves the readability. So it works on LinkedIn, but for Facebook, for me, short content works the best. You know, 2-3 lines, a good quote, and then telling in the comment, here's the full video, here's the full blog post onto it. I tried posting longer ones, but they have to be really, really good post that is based on your personal experience, what you faced. It gives motivation. People spend a lot of time reading that stuff. Then we get the algorithm will tell people that this is really good. So whenever I write a blog and it's emotional, it's very personal, and I share that based on what's happening in the economics, it works really good. But whenever I try to post long posts that is like a generic content, like everybody knows about some lessons that people can do in startup world, all about that content, it goes not very good, right? It has to be unique content. So I think in the end of the day, it depends, if your content is good enough or not, right? But what I've usually seen is that on Facebook, short quotes really work really good. It's easier for people to read, like, comment, and say move on. A lot of people would not like to read long form content because they're out of time, busy. Short works really good. LinkedIn, people want to invest some time on LinkedIn, read some good stuff out there. Their psychology has changed, I think, on LinkedIn. They want to read stuff, learn stuff. So, it really depends platform to platform, I think. Yeah,
that's valid. And so what is the customized content composer?
Yeah, I think it's really the customized content composer in Social.Champ is when you want to post something on Facebook and LinkedIn, but on Facebook, you want to have small quote onto it, but on LinkedIn, you want to have a bigger version of the content, you can turn that on, and for each specific social media platform, you can write specific content, and you can publish that. And also you can change images. So maybe on Facebook, you want a vertical image, and on LinkedIn, you want something that's horizontal, right? You can pick different images for each platform, and in a single go you can actually hit the post button. It goes to all different platforms, tailored with each platform's best whatever they want.
Yeah, for sure. So for podcasters out there that are guesting on a show, hosting, and they're sharing the content, what would be the top 3 they have to do tips when they're sharing their content?
Yeah, I think from the perspective of automation, the first thing I think what I would actually love to do is that connect your blog or podcast RSS with our RSS reader. You can connect your RSS feed with our RSS feature, and then whenever you publish something, it goes automatically to different social platforms, right? That saves some time. But then the second step I would like is that you could repurpose your content, right? So let's say you're doing podcasts for the last 5 years, right? And you have done a lot of shows. Okay. Now you would need to have all that content in a CSV file. And once you have that created in a CSV file, go to Social.Champ, go to the recycle feature, upload all of that stuff into it, and repurpose your content every Wednesday or Thursday. Let's say flashback, or every Thursday, repeat your post, try to repurpose it, right? Put it into automation. So every Thursday, even if you don't release a podcast, the content goes out there. You can repeat it 2 times in a week, right? And it restarts again when you hit that button, when you hit the bottom list of it. So if let's say you did 1,000 posts podcast, when you reach to the 1,000 one, it starts again from the first one. So you don't have to look back once you create that recycle. And of course, you can keep adding to that folder. So let's say you did 10 more podcasts, or you want to add 100 more podcasts into it. So it's a folder, just add more posts into it using our 1 by 1 or maybe a CSV upload. Put that stuff, enable that. So RSS is good, recycle is good. And one other thing that I actually like to do for our podcasters is that use the feature that automatically shares on social media. You can also install our WordPress plugin. So let's say you have a blog, you don't have RSS feed, and you have a WordPress blog. You can install our WordPress plugin and set some rules onto it that, hey, don't put the title when you share the link automatically. Put the first paragraph of the description, of maybe the first post. You can use those wildcards to construct your sharing options like captions and all that. You can use that to share it. That's something you can do with respect to automation. And then whenever you are trying to post, let's say manually, that I actually do myself is that I created a queue for my own personal page. So weekdays, 2 a.m. or whatever time you like, and weekends 7 p.m. Okay. And I don't schedule something on time. I queue it up. So when you queue something, it fills that available time slot. So I create content, I queue it up, and in the first comment, I add something, I add my comments on the post, what I post. So let's say you did a podcast with maybe 𝗪𝗧𝗧, okay, and you learned something from it, right? You can just add that on the first comment. This is the best thing. Quote something about it and post it in the first comment. And people will actually also like your first comment and reply to it, hey, I agree with you, right? And it's very interesting because people would see it as that, hey, you posted something and you came back maybe after a few seconds and replied back that, hey, this is something I loved about it, and people will resonate with you within the comment itself. This is something I try to do in balance, not for every post. I keep balance on it, so that it's from within me that the comment goes out there. It's not something automated. So that's something you could try, and always look at the calendar. So even podcasters, I think you guys have a good team, right? You have assistants who help you with your stuff, right?
Yeah.
We have the shared calendar that we have, where everything you can put in a calendar if you want to approve the content or not. And then you can share that with your teammate or even with your clients that, hey, this is everything scheduled for you. Do you approve it or not? So we have this shared calendar where you can put your logo, you can put your name to that calendar, and they're going to approve it or deny it. And you don't have to make them as a part of your Social Champ team member. That's the best thing, right? So in order to share your scheduled post on calendar, sometimes you need to make them team members. So now you can share your calendar. It's like Google Doc, where you share your Google Doc with other people. And you can put your options that they're able to edit it, or maybe just view only, so you don't mess with your calendar. So that's something you could try to do to, speed up your affirmation that, hey, we agree with this, all the post it.
Holy Hannah, man, there's all these features that I didn't even know it had. I'm like, oh, clearly I need to use that. I can't believe how many features you have. Legit. It's crazy. Yeah. What's next? What's up in the pipes?
It's just right now I'm just brainstorming with the team how we can, use AI to help all the content creators within the Social Champ to generate stuff, right? We're looking into ways how we could make more powerful AI generation using text. Maybe you give them a picture of maybe a book, and then we suggest you, and then you can tell that, hey, put the book on a good cupboard, right? And we can choose that picture, extract the book and put it on a table, and then you get the image out of it. Hey, wow, your book could be somewhere in the seaside or on some beach, right? So we try to experiment with the AI stuff. We love everything that's happening. We just want to help people who create content, use AI to better estimate their creativity, and then see how we can integrate videos onto it. Maybe if people have ideas, have videos onto it, man running in the alley with a book in his hand, and you could give that book a title. And we're trying to experiment this because this is a platform where people sometimes can create content, right? If you use AI to help them, it really makes sense. So that's something we're trying to research, do some R&D. Other than that, we just keep on looking for good feedback from people like you, who just give feedback that this is something we need. Tweak bulk upload, for example. Last week, a customer said they want to publish reels through bulk upload on TikTok. So that's something that our bulk upload didn't have. So now they just add all the video links in the bulk uploader, and they automatically schedule for TikTok reels. So that's something people really often tell us, and we just integrate that.
Yeah, I love that. And sometimes you don't even think to ask, like you just do. Do you know what I mean? I never think to ask, is this possible? But you guys are very good at listening to your clients for sure, and innovating from there. But yeah, I just never think to ask. So if you're using Social Champ, go ahead and ask. But you already have all the features, so I can't even imagine what you would add on, to be honest.
It just keeps, the priority keeps increasing. So if a ton of people ask about some features, we have entire Trello boards, where there are tons of feature requests. If we get a request from one specific thing and we see that, hey, the 15 people already requested this, we move the priority of that up. because we cannot do everything.
No.
So that really helps us.
Yeah.
It's a continuous process, by the way. So my customer support team and community team is active on Facebook and Discord. They get one-on-one with people. They get on calls. So it's really interesting. I think that's how a startup should be. That it should listen to what their audience wants, and then they can iterate on their ideas.
Yeah. I love it. Well, it's been so good to see you again and see the change and see you out there again. And next time you're in Ontario, you need to let me know. And of course, everyone should go to smoothbusinessgrowth.com/champ, and then they can check out Social Champ and sign up and try it out. It is, my recommended tool. Absolutely. And I've added you to, I also just created a page that was like my Rolodex of all my different podcasting tools. And of course, yours is on there.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah. I so appreciate you coming on and sharing your wisdom. And same with your website. Like, you have so many resources, so many blogs and articles, and the help feature inside of the app, I just want to let people know, is super robust. Like, not even just from a technical standpoint, but even strategic. It's, you've done so well. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, my team would be super proud. Thank you for sharing that. They're working really hard on that, trying to remove that friction of help and customer support. But I loved being on the show, to be honest. Next time I'm there in Canada, I'd love to meet up again. 2016. We should probably take a picture, send to Guy again. That, hey, we met first time in the conference. And now here's the latest version. But it's been super good and super happy to see where you're going with the podcast. Blogs, I did a good research. It's good topics out there, good for a lot of SMBs, mid-sized businesses. So I love everything you guys are doing out there.
Yeah. Thanks so much. All right. So let's not wait 10 years next time.
Sure. All right.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Bye-bye.